News 46 is brought to you in part by
For exquisite floral design and great pricing, it's just got to be Pahrump Valley Floral for all occasions. Call 727-1011.
But what happened is last year the weather turned cool and the pond flipped over, and that's basically what's happened again this year. Ponds turn over because during the summer the bottom stays cool and everything down there has a lack of dissolved oxygen, so whatever's on the bottom of the pond dies. And then when the weather turns cool and the top of the layer gets cool, the pond will flip over and all that dead will come back up. And this is compounded because I don't believe the pond's been cleaned or maintained, the liner's gone, those kind of problems. So that's all I know about the pond.
Now, anybody can go up there and take a look at the main pond, and there seems to be what is sludge. What is that sludge?
I don't think that I would call it sludge. That's that dead growth that was on the bottom of the top of the pond that's flipped over now onto the top.
Now, there was talk about grease traps perhaps being a cause of all this.
And a separate issue from the pond is what's happening at our Plant 3, our wastewater treatment plant. And two things happen to have that plant run less than optimum. One is the weather turned cool. It's a biological process, so everything slows down when the weather turns cool. And at the same time, we had an influx of grease come into the plant, which is hard to process. And so the effluent that's leaving the plant, the water that actually leaves the plant that goes into the pond, we're testing that every day to make sure that there aren't any fecal coliforms, which is the indicator that things have gone awry at the plant. Those have met all the compliance orders and all the permit levels that we're under. So it's totally safe what's leaving that plant. But because the plant is running at less than optimum, our total suspended solids is a little bit higher than we would like. But again, it's totally safe, but it just makes the water less clear than we would like.
What is the solid material?
Obviously, when you have a biological process, there are side events that happen there too. And these solids will look like this little tiny, sometimes invisible particles. But they've been totally treated, they've been filtered, they've gone through chlorination, they've gone through all the treatment processes, UV. Again, like I said, it's totally safe. There aren't any fecal coliforms above limits. Almost all of our samples have been non-detect.
And you mentioned the water is tested on a regular basis. Is it an independent lab who's testing this?
You have to use a certified lab. And so we take the samples, we send them to the lab does the test results on them, and then they send those results to NDEP as well. NDEP is the Nevada Division of Environmental Protection, and they are one of our regulators, and we have been in constant contact with them, and they have been wonderful support throughout all this.
You mentioned you spoke with Commissioner Butch Boraski as well as Nye County Manager Rick Osborne. What did they have to say?
Yes, I did. They've been in contact with NDEP as well. Because the pond looks so bad, everybody's concerned, and they wanted to have reassurance that there wasn't any danger to the community, which there's not. We talked a bit about the problem that we're having with the influx of grease, and Butch Boraski and Rick both said that the county would be in support of helping us make our FOG program. FOG is fats, oils, and grease. Upbeat that up a little bit more and try to find the hot spots and where the grease is coming from. That takes coordination with the state health inspector in Nye County and the utility to bring that back into line.